It was supposed to be an ordinary day. The sky had been clear that morning, and life moved along with its usual rhythm. But by afternoon, dark clouds gathered, and an eerie silence fell over the town. No one expected the storm to be as fierce as it was. Within hours, powerful winds howled through the streets, ripping apart trees, roofs, and power lines. Heavy rains poured relentlessly, flooding homes and sweeping away cars. Our family watched in horror as the water rose rapidly, seeping into our home inch by inch, until it became a raging river inside our walls. We grabbed what little we could, important documents, a few clothes, and our family photo album, and fled. The noise of destruction surrounded us, windows shattering, walls collapsing, and cries of panic from our neighbors. By nightfall, everything we had. And yet, in that moment of deep loss, we realized something. We still had each other. No matter what the storm had taken, it couldn't take away the love and bond we shared, clutching each other's. The shelter was a large, drafty building filled with rows of cots and dozens of other families who had also lost everything. The air was thick with sadness and exhaustion. We found a small corner where we could stay together, laying out the thin blankets we had been given. My younger brother clung to my mother, his eyes wide with fear, while my father sat silently, staring at the floor, his face lined with worry. That night felt endless. Every noise, a distant siren, the wind rattling the windows, a child crying nearby, kept us on edge. We had never felt so vulnerable and exposed. I kept replaying the events of the day in my mind, wondering how everything had fallen apart so fast. My mother tried to stay strong for us, whispering comforting words, but I could see her wiping away silent tears when she thought we weren't looking. Despite the heartbreak, there was something unspoken holding us together. We huddled close, drawing warmth from each other's presence. Even in that place of despair, there was a strange sense of unity, not only within our family, but with the strangers around us who were facing the same pain. We didn't know what tomorrow would bring, or how we would recover from the devastation. All we knew was that we were alive, and that for now, that had to be enough. As we finally drifted into an uneasy sleep, I whispered a promise to myself. No matter how hard it would be, we would find a way to rebuild, not just our home. The days that followed were some of the hardest we had ever known. Each morning, we woke up in the shelter to the same harsh reality. We had nothing left. The shock of the disaster began to fade, replaced by the crushing weight of uncertainty about the future. Yet, somehow, we kept moving forward, one step at a time. Volunteers arrived daily, bringing food, clothes, and supplies. Their kindness was like a small light in the darkness. I'll never forget the moment when a young woman handed my brother a stuffed animal. His face lit up with a smile we hadn't seen in days, and for a brief moment, we all felt a spark of hope. My father started helping other families clean up debris, trying to keep busy and make himself useful. My mother joined a group of women who cooked simple meals for the shelter. These small acts gave us a sense of purpose and reminded us that we were not alone in our struggle. At night, we talked quietly about our memories of home, our garden, the little shop we used to run, the birthdays and holidays we had celebrated. Remembering those moments made us sad, but it also reminded us of who we were, a family that had always worked hard and loved deeply. We didn't have a plan yet, but we had each other. Slowly, the fear began to loosen its grip, replaced by something stronger: determination. No matter how broken things seemed, we refused to. After a few weeks in the shelter, it became clear that waiting for life to return to normal wasn't an option. We had to make a choice: leave the town we had always called home, or stay and rebuild from the rubble. As a family, we sat down together and made the decision to stay. It was a difficult choice, but deep inside, we knew this was where we belonged. With no house left, we moved into a temporary tent provided by relief workers. It was cramped and uncomfortable, but it gave us a base to start over. Every day became a mission. My father and I worked with neighbors to clear fallen trees and broken bricks, while my mother found ways to stretch the little food we had into meals that could feed us all. Even my younger brother helped by gathering small bits of wood and supplies. It was exhausting, and there were moments when the task seemed impossible. Yet with every piece of debris we cleared and every small repair we made, we felt a flicker of pride. Slowly, piece by piece, we were taking back control of our lives. What surprised us most was how much the community came together. People shared tools, traded food, and offered helping hands without asking for anything in return. Strangers became friends, and hope spread like a quiet fire through the streets. Though we had a long road ahead, something had shifted inside us. We were no longer just survivors. We were builders of a new beginning, and no matter how slow the progress, we knew we were moving forward together. Just as we were beginning to feel worn down by endless days of hard work and little progress, something unexpected happened. One morning, a group of volunteers from a distant city arrived in our town with trucks full of building materials, clothing, and food. They introduced themselves as part of a charity organization that had heard about our disaster and wanted to help us rebuild. It felt almost too good to be true. After weeks of struggling alone, seeing new faces full of energy and kindness lifted our spirits. The volunteers didn't just drop off supplies, they stayed to work alongside us. Together, we patched up damaged walls, replaced broken windows, and even started to rebuild homes from the ground up. One of the volunteers, in the evenings, after long days of work, the volunteers would sit with us and share stories around a campfire. There was laughter again, and a sense of normalcy slowly began. The help we received wasn't just about physical rebuilding. It renewed our hope. We realized we weren't as alone as we had thought, and that there were good people in the world who cared. This renewed strength became the foundation for the next phase of our journey. For a while, things seemed to be improving. Our home was slowly taking shape, and my father was making plans to reopen our family business. But just as hope began to feel real, new challenges appeared, ones we hadn't expected. My mother fell ill with a severe infection, likely brought on by weeks of stress and poor living conditions. We rushed her to a small clinic, but resources were limited, and her recovery was slow. At the same time, my father learned that the grant he had applied for was delayed due to paperwork issues. The crushing weight of disappointment hit us all over again. It felt like life was testing us, pushing us to the brink. Sleepless nights returned, filled with worry and quiet tears. There were moments when we questioned if we could keep going, moments when giving up seemed easier. But somehow, deep inside, we found the strength to press on. Neighbors and volunteers we had grown close to stepped in once again. They brought food, offered rides to the clinic, and sat with us during the darkest hours. Their compassion reminded us of the power of community and kept us from falling. Most of all, we leaned on each other. Every night, my father held my mother's hand as she rested, and I took care of my little brother, helping him stay brave. Our love became our anchor, holding us steady even when everything else felt uncertain. Though the setbacks were painful, weeks turned into months, and while progress was slow, it was steady. My mother's health began to improve, her strength returning little by little. We celebrated her first day out of bed with a simple meal and a lot of smiles. It felt like a huge victory after everything we had faced. Meanwhile, my father's determination paid off. Thanks to the help of friends and the charity organization, he was finally able to reopen a small part of our family business, a modest food stall in the town center. It wasn't much compared to what we had before, but it was a start. Seeing his eyes light up as he served his first customers again filled us all with pride. Even the little things felt like reasons to celebrate. My brother returned to school, holding his new backpack tightly, and came home each day with stories of his classmates and dreams for the future. I helped around the stall after school, feeling proud to contribute to rebuilding our life. We also made new friends, other families who had lost everything but found a way to keep going. Together, we shared meals, laughter, and stories of survival. These friendships became a new source of joy, reminding us daily that we were not alone. The town itself slowly started to look like home again. Repaired buildings, reopened shops, and colorful flowers planted by volunteers brought life back to the streets. We learned to appreciate every small step forward, realizing that even the tiniest victories were proof of how far we had come. We weren't fully back to where we had been before the storm, but something had changed. We were stronger, more grateful, and closer than ever. 1 year after the storm, we stood together in front of our rebuilt home. It was smaller than the one we had lost, but to us, it was a symbol of everything we had overcome. Looking around at the familiar streets and the faces of neighbors who had become like family, we felt an overwhelming sense of pride and gratitude. We had come so far from that terrifying night when everything was swept away. Though the journey had been filled with setbacks and heartache, we had grown stronger with every challenge. My mother, now healthy and full of energy, often reminded us that true wealth isn't found in material things, but in the love and unity of family. My father's business, though still modest, had become a meeting point for locals, and his warm smile returned as he served food with joy and purpose. Our lives were different now, simpler but also deeper. We cherished small moments, family dinners, laughter around the table, quiet evenings spent together. We had learned to hold on to hope, no matter how dark the days became, and to find strength in each other when things seemed impossible. Most importantly, we realized that losing everything had, in an unexpected way, given us more than we could have imagined. It had taught us resilience, kindness, and the true meaning of home. As we looked ahead to the future, we knew that challenges would come again, but we faced them with a new sense of confidence. Whatever happened, we would face it together, stronger, wiser, and forever united by the journey we had shared. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear the next part or explore more inspiring stories like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful tales of hope, resilience, and family. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we post new videos. We have many more touching and unforgettable stories coming soon that you won't want to miss. Thank you for watching, and stay connected with us for the latest updates and inspiring content.